Welcome everybody back to Waterbox Live here on Wednesdays. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and most importantly hit that notification bell because we're here twice a week right now.
Yes, and you don't want to miss any of it. And there are not enough likes right now, so do it.
It is mandatory.
It is mandatory. Hit those likes, helps us out. But today is an exciting day because we are adding our first round of fish from Ora to the all-in-one Peninsula 4-foot. Very, very exciting. We've been waiting for this. We've been cycling. We've been prepping, and it's finally time.
Looking forward to it.
Let's get it started. Always the best intro video.
Yes.
Love that. Gets you pumped up because today is a fun day.
Yes, it is.
Exciting.
So as you guys know, along with this build, we are giving away an all-in-one 65.4 Peninsula.
Crazy.
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 You can follow me and Jess there on Instagram as well. So we're giving away this Peninsula. If you head over to waterboxaquariums.com/all-in-one, you can enter to win. You're just going to put in a little bit of information. You're going to follow some social actions. You're going to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, a whole gamut of things there that can gain you more entries to win. So definitely take advantage of that. It doesn't cost you anything. We're also going to be posting the videos and that we're, the topics that we're covering every week there as well. We've got some information on the livestock that's going in from ORA. We got some information about our partners for the build as well too.
Yeah, so dimensions, so not only is it the all-in-one Peninsula 65.4, but you also in the giveaway have a pump from SICCE and then also a fish pack from ORA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're getting all things to kind of get you up and going. So we really appreciate it with SICCE and ORA working with us on this. And like, this is one of my favorite builds that we've had because it's full aquacultured. All the livestock, inverts, corals, and fish are coming from ORA. They're amazing. This is their 25th, anniversary this year. And
which is awesome.
We've had a lot of fun working on this, but to show you a fully sustainable system, because we're always about aquaculture, sustainability, and the environment. So. And
we are, you guys, of course, like we do every episode, we're giving away a couple things.
Yes.
We got a SICCE t-shirt here that we're giving away, as well as a SICCE Syncra Silent. Was this a 2.0?
2.0, the same one that we use in the all-in-one.
Perfect.
So those we have 2 winners that'll be announced later in the episode. So those are going to be picked by being engaged in the comments, ask questions, answer people, hit the like.
Smash that like button. And come on now.
So that's how you're going to get winners for this, and we'll do that later in the episode.
Yes, and there's something really cool that I want to share with you guys. It's something that was started,
over a year.
A year and a half, almost a year, over a year ago. So back last February, we held an event in the Florida Keys. It was awesome. It was called the Family Reunion because you guys are our family. Our family came.
Yep, a lot of people did come. It was a great event.
So we invited Kelly of the Wild, if you're looking for her on Instagram, Kelly of the Wild, to do a painting while we were there.
Yes.
And this whole event supported the Coral Restoration Foundation. If you guys haven't heard of them, after the stream, go look them up. But more or less, everyone that attended this event had an opportunity to paint a little bit of this picture. Fortunately enough, the picture is finally done. It is in our possession. We were fortunate enough to buy it. Along with buying the original, we're also going to be donating another $1,000 to CRF, Coral Restoration Foundation. One of the really cool things that I also want to note about it is during our event, we were able to raise just about $10,000 for the Coral Restoration Foundation. So really cool. The title of this painting is called The Haven of Hope.
Aww.
Yeah, so
I love it, and this doesn't know justice. It's stunning in person, absolutely beautiful.
So what the story behind this picture is a joint effort with the aquarium industry as well as environmental organizations coming together to create hope for a more sustainable future for the native coral, ecosystems. One of the coolest thing about this photo is the corals that are portrayed in it are the staghorn corals, pillar corals, and brain corals that have nearly gone extinct. So another really neat thing about this is you guys will have the opportunity to buy a limited edition print.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there'll be about 50 prints available. keep an eye out for that. But again, just wanted to share this because it's really neat.
So information on that's coming pretty soon on the prints, and then that's going to be also helping coral restoration.
Yes, all the proceeds from the sales of the limited edition print will go to CRF.
That's awesome. So, like I said, I mean, we're all about aquaculture, you know, the environment, sustainability. So that ties in perfectly.
It follows along with this build very well,
Yes.
you know, because we're doing a fully aquacultured. CRF is a great organization. If you don't know who they are, definitely take a look at them.
Yeah, and you can also, I think, find old videos from the family reunion that we had some speakers for that. Really interesting stuff and amazing what they're doing for the reefs, you know, protecting and saving them. So very cool cause, beautiful picture. You can have your own little limited edition piece. And that'll be coming up sometime soon that you'll get the information.
Yeah, there's also a really cool video from that event where the CRF actually spoke at the event. So check that out. Really, really neat, really good presentation. So
very cool.
We just got that yesterday. It took a while to get it finished, but
yeah, I mean it's large and it's very very detailed. I mean, like every coral polyp, and then you have the one part of it that glows under like the black light. So that's a whole nother layer that she has to put into it to make it do that.
I do want to mention, so what's really cool about that, like she said, is it does glow under a black light as if kind of like it's lit by the moon or something. Being that it's the original, it has that. The prints won't have that, but still just as beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well that is awesome. So last week we added inverts into the all-in-one Peninsula from Ora. They've been doing great. We've been, of course, testing water, adding bacteria, making sure everything's stable. And this week is going to be our first edition of fish. While we visited Ora the other week, we were able to get some cool footage and learn a lot about their breeding over at Ora with their fish. So we actually have a video of that we're going to go ahead and show you of our visit to Ora. Alright, so we've made it over to the broodstock building. This is where all the magic happens with the fish. So this is the first step. This is where they're breeding.
Correct, yeah.
So what you got going on in here? It seems to have got a lot of fish and a lot of tanks.
This is one of the most important buildings in our entire facility. This is where every pair, every clownfish that somebody buys originated from the parents in this building.
Aww.
Oh, yes.
So about how many pairs of fish do you have in here?
Well, we have probably over 1,400 individual pairs of fish.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of babies happening.
It's a lot of fish to take care of.
Okay.
They get fed the best food. The water is the top most clean. The best care happens in this building.
Awesome. So I see we got different tanks for all the different fish and their stuff. Is everything here like egg laying? I know clownfish are egg laying. Is
absolutely.
That
here, I'll kind of show you a little bit of what it looks like. So you'll notice that all of our fish have tiles. This right here is a really special signal. This means there are eggs on those tiles.
Oh, the green eggs, okay.
So a lot of your clownfish will lay eggs roughly about every 2 weeks on a pretty rigid cycle.
Wow.
From egg to hatching, you're looking at about 8 to 9 days. And that part after here is handled by a completely different department.
Okay. So I also see, we got clownfish in here, but I see some cardinals, some gobies, that kind of stuff. So no matter what type of fish it is, this is where the breeding happens.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So some of my favorites, obviously we've got black storms, we've got some gold nugget maroons, and one of my favorite fish to show you is one of the original Picasso clownfish to ever get into our industry.
Okay, so it's one of the beginners of the Picasso line for you guys.
Absolutely. So these guys right here, every Picasso that's come into our industry, the very first designer clownfish, for example, came from a fish wild collected just like this.
Aww, okay. So they all come in wild, then you work through the generations and reproducing, but those wild pairs stay as that.
But this is what started the entire designer clownfish phenomenon. One of the reasons why we're here today.
Speaking of designer clowns, so you have fish that comes in with a cool pattern.
Sure.
And then you kind of work with that trait.
There's a lot of fancy genetics that goes into figuring out what's going to look good. Oftentimes you'll start with 2 patterns, you'll put them together. What comes out may be completely different.
Yep.
It could be just a wild type fish that comes out. We are actively looking through all of our grow out tanks defined aberrant patterns
Okay.
that may breed true and become like the next big
Might be. That's how you
designer.
get the next type of
Right.
pattern, whatever. And when you have designer clowns breed, are all the babies a designer?
No.
No. So it's not
Sometimes-
like you just have Picassos and you got Picassos all over the place.
You may have 25% that are Picassos and 25% that are wild type.
Okay.
Another 25% that looks something different. I mean, it just depends on the genetics that's inside every clownfish.
Very cool to know. Awesome. So what would you say is probably one of the harder types of fish in your breeding
To really
program right
to
now?
get going.
Yeah.
Some of the damselfish species are really, really tricky.
Okay.
We've got firefish that we have tried that have also been very challenging.
Firefish, okay.
Comets or betas, marine
Oh,
betas.
yeah. Okay.
We'll hold on to pairs for sometimes 10 years plus, just hoping they'll do something.
Wow.
But the other flip side of that is sometimes the spawning is the easy part.
Okay.
We can get these clownfish, we can get some of these cardinals or gobies to spawn, but then getting the fry into
a whole
adulthood,
nother process
a whole
of
new set
learning.
of challenges.
Very cool. But clownfish seems to be pretty, once they get going, they're pretty regular.
They are. They're
And you
pretty easy to
fine-tune
go.
that process
Absolutely,
really well.
yes.
Awesome. That was awesome.
There you have it.
Yeah, so
Amazing facility.
being in there and just seeing how many types of pairs are breeding, I mean, it's not an easy process. There's a lot of monitoring and very experienced people in there taking care of
Yeah.
water quality and all that stuff, but there's so much cool stuff.
It was such a pleasure to be able to go see that facility because you cannot get in there. This is
No.
not a building that you can just
No,
drive
they don't
up
do
to.
tours or
They actually
visits.
have full-on guard gate security. You have to be on a list. Forget about it. Don't try to drive.
Yeah,
by.
and also a lot of going into these buildings is, you know, you have to have sanitary processes as well because it is a very controlled environment that can't be disrupted. You know,
Yeah.
you can't have anything getting into the water. Everything is specific to that type of animal and what it needs to elicit the breeding and what
Right.
they need to keep the eggs and happy and stuff like that. So there's a huge science behind it. You can't just
Right.
put two clowns together and be like, suddenly there's babies in your
Right.
tank. It'd be cool if that were that easy, but you know, it's definitely something that they've spent those 25 years that they've been around fine tuning. And like you said, there's some fish, they'll have a pair for 10 years trying to get them to breed, and it does not happen.
Wow.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I would give up.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's such a noble cause. And if you guys get the chance, support ORA. You know, pick up, make sure you buy their fish, buy their corals.
Yeah, amazing
all really
place
great
and
stuff.
people. So you've got your breeding area, and you know that's where they're going to lay their eggs. They're going to tend to the eggs for a certain amount of time, and from there you've got to go over to like the hatchery, nursery area to get the eggs over to get to the size of, you know, being able to ship to your local fish store or to you, stuff like that. And that's a whole nother process. We were able to
Right.
see very secretive area of where all of that happens, and we have a video to show you. Alright, so now we're in the grow out building and we have, as far as you can see, vats of absolutely adorable baby fish before
Lots of
they
fish.
go off to their new homes. Tell us a little bit about this place.
Right, so this is one of the last stages before we should bring them to our shipping building. These animals here start off as very, very tiny little larvae. They're brought into these big troughs. They're fed 4 to 6 times a day to really get them as big as possible.
So, so say you bring in clownfish over here from the larva stage. How long, roughly, and I know it's probably going to depend, is a clownfish over here from that
Right.
larval stage until it's ready to go and be shipped out?
It can be anywhere between 6 to 9 to 12 months
Wow,
before
okay.
a fish is ready to go.
So there's living in here, getting the best life,
Oh,
lots
man.
of food, lots of
They're
great
getting
care.
their tanks scrubbed every day. They're getting fed all the time. New water changes, natural sunlight. This is where you'd want to be if you were a fish.
So the water changes in here has got to be pretty heavy, I would think, because with all of these babies, I mean, I don't know how many, is it thousands that are in here? Like
Tens of thousands,
tens
absolutely.
of thousands. They're getting fed constantly. There's got to be
right.
a lot of work for water quality upkeep.
We do a lot of water movement. We do a lot of heavy filtration, a lot of biological filtration
Okay.
to really get rid of all that nutrients in the water.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish food and all that going in there. But they're so cute, and in each of these systems, it's not one particular type of fish
No,
or
you'll
clownfish.
oftentimes see a mix of multiple different types of designer clowns, wild type patterns.
Okay.
Rarely is it multiple species, but sometimes we do.
So you just kind of take a lot of different hatching sets, and then as they get bigger, you start to divide them out by their type?
Yep, we can grade them by their pattern, their size, the species, making it easier for the team that works here to get them over to our shipping building when they know what we're shipping out that day.
Okay, so this is where they stay until they move over to the shipping building where they go out of there. They look very happy. We have a lot of size I've seen. We got dotty backs, clownfish, cardinals,
Damsels, absolutely.
Damsels.
Some of my favorites here, the orchid dotty back. This fish absolutely glows in the dark under our natural sunlight here.
Yeah, I had to stop when I was walking by here just because of the brightness of the orchid dotty back, but also the good blue guys that are in here. They're like almost iridescent.
One of our hybrids, the electric indigo dotty back, absolutely.
I love them. Like when they turn, they all have different kind of phases of the color. Dotty backs can be a little bit more aggressive.
Right, so I would like to say, I mean, dotty backs oftentimes get people a little nervous, but the orchid dotty back is probably the least obnoxious fish you can have in the home aquarium.
Are they, because they're aquacultured, less aggressive than you would think the wild ones?
Maybe at some level, but really they're just not nearly as mean as some of their other cousins are.
So your orchid dotty back is your best bet in a more peaceful environment.
I like to have one in every home tank I set up.
They're striking, beautiful color. It has been awesome to see how it's all done here at Ora, all the beautiful fish and corals. Cannot wait until we can put this into our all-in-one peninsula build going on right now.
So we want to thank you guys so much for having us here. It was amazing. I want to tell you guys at home, make sure you check out orafarm.com and also ask your retailer, if they don't already, to reach out to Ora so that they can bring their corals and fish into their stores.
Yeah, and on behalf of Donna and myself, thank you so much for coming out here. We love showing off what we do, and we hope to work with you again soon.
All right, that was a great video, but we do need to hold a moment of silence for Jacob's chicken nuggets.
You couldn't hold it in, could you? This is a serious moment.
Jacob dropped his chicken nugget. I can't do things like this. Okay, so.
Cut. Play a video. All right. That was a good one.
All right. I can't stop. All right.
All right. So
Anyway.
that was a good one. Thank you, Jacob. I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
We're
good. We're live.
laughing
That's the
back
best
here.
part about it.
We were laughing back here as we're reading the comments, and we're like, we've got to give him a shout out for his chicken nuggets. But Keenan did want to know where they're from, because if they're Chick-fil-A, then it's really upsetting.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
But anyway, okay. So back to Ora. I don't think I could have been ready to see the fish already. All right.
I'm good. It's just because my eyes are tearing up.
Let's throw a question out to you guys.
All right, I'm going to do questions for a minute.
Go ahead.
Now this is, how do you raise clownfish fry in the home aquarium? Is it possible to do it in a small scale?
You really have to have like a full setup, because the eggs have to be separated from the parents, because they're going to have the babies are going to get eaten or they'll get sucked into the filter. Like, it's not something you can just do in your aquarium.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be, you have to set up, and you can do it in a small scale, but it does have to be separate tanks, and you have to have live food growing constantly to feed the larvae and all that stuff. So it's really not something you want to undertake unless you're serious about it, or if you just want to kind of play around with it because you have clownfish that lay a lot of eggs regularly.
Cool.
The fez bearer, all the maroons are aggressive. They're one of the most aggressive, along with like tomato clowns and stuff like that. They do get large. A female maroon clown can easily be like, I don't know, what is that, like 7 inches, something like that. They're huge, and they're very aggressive, especially if they pair off and they're breeding. And they will bite you and cause you to bleed. So,
Wow.
yeah. No, I used to
They
have
had some
one.
massive ones at Ora too.
Yeah, and you figure older breeding pairs, like I used to have one in a store I worked, and like it would just come in like bite right in between your fingers where it's really tender and just like rip it, because they were always laying eggs and they were just really aggressive. So they do not belong in small aquariums because they will bully all the other fish.
Hannah says, is it true you can only have 2 clownfish?
Generally, yes. So in a tank, 2 clownfish, or if you were going to have like a large aquarium and have a ton of them, but that's really not advised. You have like pink skunk clowns, which can actually be in harems. But just stick with 2. It's easier.
Yep.
All right.
Go the safe road.
Singing gardener, what fish are compatible living in the same tank as damsels? Depends on the type of damsel. Some of them are really mean. You do want to be cautious of which ones. They can be very aggressive. So you don't want anything super, super docile, and go with something that is going to be a more mellow of the damsel.
That's it for the question.
Okay, we got ourselves back together. All right, so
That took a lot.
that did take a lot. I did not expect that.
No. No, did not think I was going to bust out laughing.
No, you couldn't
was
stop. So, but it's fun. It's really live.
Yeah.
You know,
we're actually here.
we're actually here reading comments and laughing. But so yeah, so that whole area, and there was more buildings like that. That was just full of these. I mean, those vats are huge.
Right.
Just full of as many
That was only half
clowns.
of it too.
Yeah,
You
there's
couldn't
the
see
other
behind
side.
the other side of us, which was
Plus
another,
other multiple
yeah.
buildings. And like you walk up to one and you're like, you just see like 20 different types of clowns, little babies, and all different sizes, all different patterns, and they're just like swarming. You got dotty backs and gobies and stuff. It was really cool to see all of them. Like there's just so many. It's hard to like wrap your head around.
The craziest thing when I walked into that particular building that we were just looking at was when I saw this humongous holding tank full of these tiny little clownfish. My head almost exploded. I went, what?
Yeah, some of them, when they were like super small, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, thousands in there.
Yeah.
But you know, just for how long that they're in there, they're being fed 4 to 6 times a day.
Yeah.
I mean, constant water changes and care and stuff like that. So it's not an easy task. You
No,
know,
not
they're
at
not
all.
putting them in here and they're just happily growing up and coming to your door without a ton of care that goes into it. But you know, those thousands of baby clowns aren't being taken from the reef.
Yep.
Those thousands of dotty backs, you know. So it really makes a huge impact on the wild populations to have places like Ora that are aquaculturing and working so hard to get new species
Right.
aquacultured as well.
Super important to support those guys. That's why we love to have them on here.
Yeah, they're always
as
fun to
much as
talk
we
to.
can, yeah.
Visiting was great. You know, so it's one of those things that I wasn't ready to see that many babies. I just wasn't. It was
Nothing can
adorable.
prepare you for it.
Yeah.
But we did receive our first shipment of fish from them.
Yes, so our first shipment of fish arrived yesterday. Wanted to get them in, have a chance to unbag them, acclimate them, and get them into the aquarium so that we can show them to you today. But we did, of course, go ahead and record the arrival and acclimation of them yesterday for you to see.
You just talk over it.
So we got the box of them come in. Of course, they're packaged here in Florida. They came with some ice packs to keep the temperature cool. And they're wrapped up here with a double bag on the outside, so if one did for some reason pop, it would help somewhat contain the water. And then we have a lemon peel angelfish. So angelfish are still pretty new
Oh, I love
for being
this one.
aquacultured.
Love this one.
And he's so cute and adorable. We set up a clear 10 here. I love using our clear tanks for acclimation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and put him in. Yeah, he's so little.
Love
They're
it.
just so
Love the
cute.
tiny little fish.
And then the lemon peel, you know, they do need a lot of algae in their diet. They're going to be a little bit more sensitive, so you want to make sure your tank is nice and stable and you're controlling it well. They're going to be nice and active. They do have a slight risk at picking at coral, so you do want to kind of just keep an eye on that. But I think a lot of times their beauty outweighs the risk, and you just have to be cautious. But overall, going to be mostly friendly, a little bit territorial if you want to put them in too small of an aquarium. But that guy's moving. We got the yellow line goby. And putting him on in here to get started with his acclimation. These guys are little, and they don't get much bigger than they are here. And this is actually part of the cleaner goby family. So these are actually going to jump on your fish, clean them up dead scales, parasites. Cool. So they're a really good sustainable cleaner because cleaner wrasses are generally don't do well in captivity. This is a great alternative that's aquacultured and they thrive in our home aquarium. And they're adorable. So there's ones with yellow lines, orange lines, blue lines. You can get a lot of color variety in these
Isn't it funny how a fish can be adorable?
They are. They really are.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw the clownfish in that big tank. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Because they are. So here we have our striped blenny. And even though they're a blenny, this one is pretty cool because they do tend to actively swim more like a fish than perch like a blenny does. And they've got some really vibrant contrasting colors. So you got the yellow with the black stripes and then the white body. And they do come in a couple different varieties of this type of similar blenny. And we actually got 3 of them because they will generally kind of hang out together. So they're going to give a lot of motion into the aquarium. Easy to keep, easy to feed, very peaceful. Look at him. That one's mad at this time. Don't be alarmed if your fish does lay down when you're acclimating because they've just had a long trip. Yeah. Got an Ora Watchman Goby. And this guy is a baby. There he is. He went running off to the back. So this one is like a light yellow. He may become more yellow as it gets older. And then the dots on his body will a lot of times take on like a bluish hue. And these are going to be on the bottom, kind of make a burrow under the rocks. You compare them with the pistol shrimp. Super peaceful, very easy going, kind of just as a good dweller for the bottom of the aquarium.
Yeah. So amazing that they're able to breed these things.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
He's got his little fins, pectoral fins up, and he's like his bottom fins are like little feet. They're adorable.
Skips around the bottom.
All right, and my long-awaited pair of clowns that I've always wanted since they were released years ago is the Black Storm clown. And here's the one of them. And funny thing with black storms is they do become completely black in the non-white areas, but when they are juvenile, they will still have some of that orange hue, which will fill in as they get bigger and more mature. But for some reason, I don't know, I fell in love with the black storms as soon as I saw the first picture.
Yeah.
When they were first discovered in
one of the
red.
fish that's a little hard to find from them, right? One of their highest demand.
Yeah, it is probably one of the newer, more in-demand color varieties is going to be the Black Storm. And there's number 2, and you're going to see with this one, his color's a little bit deeper. His, her, not really sure.
Not sure yet.
They all start out as male for clownfish. The dominant one will then get bigger and become the female. The male will stay smaller. And that's when you have like a breeding pair as they
look at
mature.
how striking that color is.
Much darker, still has some of the orange coming through. The pattern on him is beautiful. I can't tell yet. But you see how that cool pattern with the jet black.
That one has an amazing pattern. That is so cool.
Yeah, the black storms are really cool in their face. Have a really unique pattern face, which kind of defines them as a black storm. He's so cute. All right, so once we got them all into the same container, went ahead and set up a drip line. So this is airline tubing, started a siphon, and then
she does it the brave way too.
The brave
with
way,
her mouth.
salt water ain't gonna kill you. You get the siphon going, and then basically I just tie a knot, and I adjust the tightness depending on how much you want it to drip.
Yep.
It's really simple. I mean, there's fancier ways out there, but I like very simple.
Tried and true.
I've used the same piece of airline tubing for like the last 2 years. It's probably about 10 cents. It's great.
Even less.
And then we're gonna go ahead and add some prime. I talked about this with the inverts. When they travel, make waste in a bag, you can have an ammonia spike when you take it out and put into oxygen. So I put a little bit of prime in there to neutralize it, just for an easier acclimation. And this has got its drip going straight from the aquarium. Simple as can be.
That's some knowledge right there.
So they're gonna sit there, acclimate for 30, 40 minutes. You're looking to kind of come close to doubling the water volume. And then go ahead and take the drip line out. And these babies are ready to go into the aquarium. So I'm trying to kind of net them in their groups so that they go in together. Not that it probably matters, but just gently let them come out of the net. They, a lot of times they're gonna hide, or they will kind of lay on the bottom really upset. They have to adjust to a whole new environment. So we're adding them here. I'll put the clowns in, and then the lemon peel. And then our tiny little goby. He's gonna go down to the bottom until he finds his little rock burrow that he wants to use. And we got our striped blennies going in all together. And last but not least is our little shark nose, kind of little cleaner gobies. There we go. And they're all in there. So with all of them being small, the number of fish we added is a high number, but they're very, very small. So you don't want to overdo it. Be very cautious on your stocking. We do go a little bit faster on our shows than like the home person may, but I'm also closely monitoring. I've been doing this for more years than I want to admit.
And she's here every day monitoring the tank all day, so it's
So, just use us as a guideline, but not necessarily as fast. Go as slow as you want. The slower is better, especially if you're starting out. Rushing things, like you said, you always say, nothing good happens fast in a saltwater aquarium.
That's true.
So always take your time. We're just kind of showing you the steps. Ours are just a little bit faster sometimes than you're going to do.
Yep.
But I think we're going to go look at these fish. Oh, no, questions. Okay. They have questions. They're ready. Just Nano Reef says, what's a good size pump for the Waterbox 4820? If you go on our website, we've got guides on like your CHA pumps, which models we pair them with. Like our blueprints show you which pump, depending on which model you're looking at.
So the 4820, that's the Peninsula, so it's
With the sump system.
the same size as the one we're showing today, but it has a sump.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely check it out. But if you had to put a model on it, could you?
Put me on the spot here, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna say a Syncra 4.
Yeah, it's got to be a Syncra 4 or 5, probably a 4. So just double check that. Don't hold me to it. I don't know. That's why you have graphs, charts, but probably a 4.
Lewis says, can you add another clown if you have one already?
Oh, okay.
Womp, womp.
There's a lot of variables. All right. If your clown has been in there not very long at all, let's say newly added, you want to add another one, generally pretty safe to add one without too much consideration into size. If yours has been existing in there for a while, always get one as small compared to the other one as possible, because that one, even though may not transition to female, is going to be dominant. You need a small one that's definitely male and not dominant, or you're going to have a huge battle and no one's going to win. So definitely take that in consideration. If you err on the side of safe, always just go for smaller than your existing. Never mix two types of clowns. It's generally not going to go well. So
There you go.
Robert Selim says, can I put multiple tangs in a 75-gallon tank, bristle tooth with a lemon peel or a blue hippo tang? No on a blue hippo. Maybe on a bristle tooth, depending on the footprint. Lemon peel is an angel. I know there's a mimic tang that looks like one, which would probably be okay, but I would not put more than one tang in a 75. They need more space than you think, and they will get very aggressive if you don't.
Oliver says, should I regularly add prime to my fish tank?
No. Don't add unless you need it. I put it in for acclimation, and then I put it if there's ever some kind of random spike or some issue with your
Have it
aquarium.
on hand. Don't use it regularly.
Yes, have it on hand. It's also really good if you clean something in bleach to neutralize the chloramines and all of that that could be with it when you rinse it. So it's good for that purpose too, but I wouldn't just add it for no good reason. Singing Gardner says, which angelfish grows the largest? Queen angels, emperators, French, like all those large angel size ones, not the dwarf or pygmies. They can easily get, I don't know, this big around, like huge, like
Yeah,
12,
like the
18
queens and
inches.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get really, really big. So those are for hundreds of gallon size.
Yeah, and you're certainly not
reef
putting
safe.
them in a reef tank.
No,
Yeah.
they will devour your coral indeed. So
Yeah, you're gonna need a huge reef tank for most of those guys.
yeah, if you want a reef tank, go with your dwarf
Or not reef
angels.
tank, aquarium, saltwater aquarium.
Yeah, if you want angels in a reef tank, go with your dwarf angels. Even then, you have a risk. Pygmy angels, like pygmy cherubs, tend to be safer, but still not guaranteed. No angel is completely reef safe, except for Genicanthus, actually, but we won't get into that.
What?
Genicanthus angels, Bellis angels, stuff like that. There are angels that are reef safe, but they do need.
You know too many things.
I do. They need like 200 plus
There's
gallons.
too many knowledges in your brain.
That's why I'm here for you. All right, do we have more questions? No? All right.
No,
We're going
we're
to
gonna
the
feed the
tank
fish for
to
you
go
guys.
feed the fish.
I'm gonna take a nap over here, Jess, okay?
You leaving me?
Oh, you want me to help?
Rich says he's not coming to the aquarium. He's just going to
I
hang.
had planned on taking a nap.
This is what I have to live with, guys. All right. Okay, so we got the fish in yesterday. Everyone has been great and happy. Wanted to let you see them today. And best way, of course, to bring everyone kind of out at one time is to give them some food. They want dinner anyway. So first thing I'm going to do is feeding some
Wrong one.
mysis shrimp. Here, I have it defrosted, and we're going to go ahead and put in a little bit. See if we can get everyone kind of to come up to the front. As they're in here longer, they're gonna get used to your feeding routine. And as soon as you kind of come over with the cup, they're gonna all swarm to the one area. Since they just came yesterday, they may not necessarily.
It's only been 24 hours, so we don't really know how they're gonna react right now.
Yeah, and they'll come and eat and move around, but they're still adjusting, getting used to our feeding regimen, all of that. And our little tiny little gobies are kind of hanging around the rock. The little goby, Watchman Goby, sits at the bottom. You see
Where's
they're just-
Gary?
Oh, Gary's right under, on the other side of this rock.
Oh, I see him, yeah. If you guys don't know Gary, tell them about Gary.
So last week we got in our inverts from Ora, and they did not have any of the regular sellable size trochus. They didn't have them in yet in time for our show. So while I was there talking to Jordan, I was talking about how big some of his trochus were. Like, I've never seen them this big. So he surprised me with a huge trochus snail. And yet last week we're like, what should we name him? But we kind of unanimously decided on Gary. He's in the archway.
Right there, you see the pointy thing right down there?
But he's been in the ORA tanks for so long, he's
There you go,
completely
there's Gary.
coralline covered, and he looks like the rock. So every day when we come in, we can do a game of Where's Gary? And he's awesome.
Blends in perfectly to like everything. You just gotta
does.
spot that that really sharp point. That's like what gives him away.
He really likes to hide in like the turns of the rock though, so he like blends right in with the shape. I've spent like 5 minutes.
He
looking
knows
for
what he's
this
doing.
thing.
He's been around a long time.
He has. So you see all the little guys kind of roaming around. Everyone is nice and happy. And another thing we always want to consider, so with an angel, they are mostly omnivore, but they do need algae in their diet. And when they're really small, they have a very high metabolism, so they need to be fed regularly. So what we're gonna do, and it's also gonna feed the urchins because there's not a ton of natural algae in here, is actually give them some seaweed every day. It's gonna give the angel something to pick out throughout the day. And also the urchins can come to it if they need extra algae in here. So we're just using a little magnet clip. And this is the same if you have tangs, angels, anything like that. You do want to provide them with algae. Or if you have urchins and not a lot of, algae in there for them. So urchins will come to it if they want. I'm going to actually probably move this closer to our angel. Loves this set of rocks here. That's always where he likes to hang out. There he is. And he'll learn when the algae clip goes in to come and kind of pick on his sea veggies throughout the day. And then they'll get their mysis dinner at night. Oh, he's looking. No.
Come on.
They're still so new, so they're scared of a lot. But you do want to, anytime you have an angel or tank, put some algae in there. If you have more inverts than algae, also supplement their diet with algae.
I love this tank though, Jess. It just
I know.
shows you how wide of an assortment and how beautiful the the fish and the inverts can be when it's 100% aquacultured.
Yeah, and the thing is like we're just in the very beginning. It's also really cool just knowing that all the fish are aquacultured. They're coming in healthy. They're coming in adaptive to captive care. We still have coral to add, more fish. It's I love the concept of this build.
Yeah.
And it's going to show that you can do this, and help the environment wherever you can. And even on our bigger builds, we're always about sustainability. Aquaculture corals, and making sure any fish that we do get are good for the captive environment. Not all fish are meant to be in home aquariums.
Yep.
So
100%, and that's why Jess is here dropping her knowledge about all the fish and all the corals and all the inverts and all those good things.
All right, I don't know if we have any more questions, or we got them out of the way earlier, but I know we do have 2 prizes to give away.
We do. But most importantly, the currency to win these prizes is smashing the like button. That is how you that is how you pay for these things.
The
You smash the like-
currency of these prizes. That is a new one. All right, that is a new
Or
phrase by Rich.
chicken
I like
nuggets.
it. Or, poor chicken nuggets. I feel for the guy. Poor Jacob. Anyway, so we have 2 prizes to give away. I think we have those winners ready. 2 seconds. Yes, maybe.
I do want to mention, somebody asked, we were talking about the Haven of Hope. That's the art that we showed you earlier. We'll talk about it in future episodes. Someone is asking, are they priced? There's going to be 25 of each size available. One's a 20 by 24. The other one's a 30 by 36. The smaller one's $350. The second one's $875. Again, limited edition. There's only 25 of each. So once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
All those proceeds will go to Coral Restoration Foundation. We'll make sure to let you guys know when they're up.
Yep. Awesome. Look forward to that. Helping a good cause and getting a beautiful painting as well. And we're ready for some winners. Drum roll. The winners are Singing Gardener gets the CJ t-shirt, and Hannah Chris for the CJ Syncra 2.0. Congratulations, guys.
Awesome.
Email winners with your information, and they'll get you taken care of. So it pays to watch live, because we're usually giving something away.
It does.
And you get to watch us laugh and almost cry.
Yeah, that was that took a lot.
That was
It took a lot of
unexpected.
grit to stop that laugh, because that could have gone for a long time.
Yeah, the thing is that whenever we're trying to get together, if one of us starts laughing, we're pretty much doomed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we actually kept that together and made it through. I'm very proud of us. Do we have any more questions, or are we all set?
I'll just throw this one out there. How do you get that blue tumbler? People keep asking for that.
The blue tumbler, how do you get it? I don't know, because I need another one. We're like out of them.
Yes. Yeah, we get asked a lot. So we had these done for last Blue Friday. And then every once in a while, I go and I print some cool, fancy little cups for the office, and it's only done internally, and we get asked for them a lot. I don't know.
Maybe we should consider putting these blue tumblers.
Yeah, if you guys would buy them, let us know, and obviously a few people would, but.
Figure out how to get them up on the site and available and stuff like that. I will say they're great because they keep the drink really nice and cold.
Yeah.
They hold a nice, good drink.
Yeah.
So
We even have these little wine tumblers. We have these corked tumblers. There's all sorts
a
of
lot
cool.
of cups around.
Yeah,
our
there
office.
was a while that people were like, "Rich, what's with all the custom cups?" Like,
Yeah, we have a lot of different ones. They've all kind of slowly disappeared, and the numbers have dwindled. We keep
yeah.
talking about how we need
I
to
just
order
said
more.
today, I was like, I got to order some more cups. So.
All right, maybe we'll get them up on the website. So let us know if you would get some of the nice blue tumblers. You can also get coffee mugs on our website with the Waterbox, and we'll look into some other cool cup
for sure.
options. So we have next week, an even equally as exciting week, is a first coral from Ora is coming next week. So we're got our fish now. We're gonna start adding some coral in here. Going to see some really great variety of what Ora is aquaculturing. And then you also will get to see us visiting their coral area of
Which
Ora.
was amazing, you guys. You do not want to miss that one.
Yeah.
Such a amazing facility.
All right, so we're going to be here next Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
We're also
adding
here
coral.
tomorrow, right?
We are.
Yeah. So
You
we'll
sure?
see. No, I'm not. At this point, I'm really not. We're going to be here at 1 p.m. tomorrow. back on the Reef LX build, talking about
Electrical and cord
electrical
management.
and cord management.
It's a must do of a large aquarium. So definitely tune in, and we'll be back with the Ora build on Wednesday.
Yep. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Remember, you can visit us online at waterboxaquariums.com.
We're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. See you next week.